Go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Take 3 podcast. We're here to recap week 9 in the NFL. I call it the weekend of the running game. Obviously, we saw Kenneth Walker kind of do his thing. He's been ridiculous so far as a rookie, coming off that, I believe it was preseason hernia that he had, but he's hasn't missed a beat and has really helped that Seahawks offense jump out to a 6-3 start. We saw Joe Mixon just do a ridiculous fantasy day. I just want to tip my cap to that guy. I had him on one team. Absolutely saved it. He really came in clutch finally. Maybe the Bengals figured out an offense that they can run through without Jamar Chase. It's about damn time as a Joe Mixon fantasy owner. And then we saw Justin Fields. I believe he broke Mike Vick's rushing record for a quarterback. That's just ridiculous. Maybe get the man some receivers that are actually respectable out there and not Dante Pettis in the year 2022, and just kind of let that guy do his thing. I mean, they might have figured something out. I don't want to get too crazy, but Justin Fields, I've seen him do ridiculous things. And then you watch him throw the football a week later and it's like, nope, he's not that guy. And then we see Tom Brady. You know, it wasn't pretty. We said last week it wasn't going to be pretty. It might have been more of a Rams loss than it was a Bucs win, but at the end of the day, you gave Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, the ball with enough time to do something, and he found a way to eke it out. So how are you feeling coming off of a week 9? Obviously, Eagles got it done Thursday night football. It was a weird Sunday without Eagles football, but we continued the run 8-0 on the year. Big W on Thursday. But yeah, how are you feeling coming off of a week 9?
Yeah, pretty fun weekend of football. We had some upsets we didn't expect. We had a double-digit home dog win, and Philadelphia won. So it was an interesting weekend. I thought I did better on the spreads. We had quite a few pushes, and then some kind of surprising results. So I think we kind of learned about some teams. Some teams are definitely dropping, and like we got some young teams kind of starting to figure it out a little bit, which is kind of exciting to see.
For sure. So let's move into the first topic. It is one of those, if it lets me flip over, one of those teams you mentioned as a home dog, 11-point underdog, Jets. We kind of sat here last week and said the Jets aren't going to have enough on offense, and we didn't really put in that Josh Allen was going to be bad 2 weeks in a row, particularly bad this week. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 1 injured elbow on the stat sheet. And then Zach Wilson didn't turn the ball over. You know, I mean, he didn't do anything amazing, but he did enough. Sauce Gardner seems like he's legit. So, I mean, what do you make of the Jets holding home field, beating the Buffalo Bills? Big one. And more importantly, what is the outlook for Buffalo coming out of this? Obviously, the Josh Allen elbow situation. We see what Matt Stafford's elbow looks like. It is definitely a concern if you're a Buffalo Bills fan heading forward throughout the rest of the year, because it's not going to go away. So what are your thoughts on the Bills coming off this loss and the Jets? I mean, they found a way to do it, right?
Yeah, shout out the Jets. That was a pretty impressive win. I think pretty much nailed it, saying like we did not expect Josh Allen to be bad 2 weeks in a row. That's basically dating back to the second half of Green Bay, and now so it's like a game and a half. Josh Allen has not played well. Obviously, a small sample size. I think he'll be fine in the long run, but I don't think it's going to improve for the next couple weeks. I think he'll get better. Don't get me wrong. I still don't expect 2 interceptions every game. That's back-to-back weeks. But I think we're not going to see 100% like Josh Allen at his best the next couple of weeks. I think the elbow was something for him, but like I think he still launched that deep ball at the end of the game. Like I think he'll be fine, as in like he's not going to miss any time. I think he's going to play. But yeah, it's worrisome. Buffalo definitely has shown that they can be beaten. So is Kansas City. So the AFC does feel a little open right now. I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be like Buffalo and Kansas City. They'll separate again. But like, shout out the New York Jets. Zach Wilson didn't turn it over. I think 150-ish yards through the air, but they were able to run the ball really well, which is kind of concerning for Buffalo. I think it was Michael Carter had 12 carries, 76 yards. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. That's not great for the Buffalo Bills. Fantastic for the Jets. But like, what a great home win for this Jets team. They improve. All of a sudden, the AFC East is really good, as just like the NFC East. So it's like it's all bundled together. Yeah, I think most people. No, go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, the Jets and the Dolphins are clearly not going away.
Yeah, which leads me right into my question for you, because like I think most of us are going to say like, oh, the Bills will be all right. We expect them to win the division, but like, are we getting worried at all? They got 2 division losses, and both of those teams are like right on their heels. And I don't think it's New York that would win the division, but Miami. I mean, they're undefeated with Tua. Obviously, they lost the 3 games without him, but like they got a lot of swagger and confidence. They've already beaten the Bills once. Like, are you worried at all that the Bills could be letting the division slip away?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll win the division. I don't think it'll be as wide of a margin as we once thought that this team is kind of a juggernaut football team. We're kind of seeing the weaknesses. We're seeing Josh Allen now banged up, throwing interceptions. Obviously, he did run in 2 touchdowns, but that's giving the Jets 2 extra possessions. Obviously, you said, 2 tough division losses. They went down to Miami and lost. They went to New York and lost. And I mean, I worry about the elbow a little bit more than I guess you would, because I don't think it's going to get any better. It's a ligament thing. It's not just going to heal, right? It's kind of the same thing Matt Stafford's dealing with. We've seen pitchers in baseball deal with ulnar collateral ligament injuries. It doesn't go away. It's possibly a surgery. I mean, maybe if he gets lucky, he's going to play through it, right? He's going to battle through it. We've seen Matt Stafford battle through it, so I have no worries that Josh Allen's not going to play through it, but it's how effective is he going to be? I mean, a deep ball at the end of the game, there's adrenaline running, but you come off of a week, right, where you're going in. Next week, how's the elbow? How's the ball spinning? He'll battle through it, but I mean, I worry about now the Bills, their ability to beat the Chiefs in the long run. And I've been a big Bills guy all year, but after this weekend and the elbow injury, I would put the Chiefs a notch ahead now as my AFC favorite. They seem to have everything rolling. Obviously a close game, but they're just healthier, right? I mean, you put it down to the 2 quarterbacks. I'm going to take the guy that doesn't have an elbow injury as of right now. I mean, Patrick Mahomes could go out and somehow hurt his elbow this very next game, and I sound like a dope. But I mean, I think that's where it is for me. I think the Bills will win the division, won't be as wide of a margin as we once thought, but the Chiefs overtake being the AFC favorite in my eyes.
I think that's a pretty logical, like, good way to look at it. And if it plays out that way, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like Miami's starting to surge. The only thing with Buffalo is like they're so Josh Allen centric, and if once again, he's going to play through it. But if his play like dips and we see games like this, and I do think the Bills are in trouble, especially in the long run. We've talked about the Chiefs. Cincinnati finally had an offensive line and was able to run the ball. We know how deadly they could be. So in theory, like, Cincinnati's defense has played well. I still think Cincinnati would be right there, especially if Josh Allen is not playing up to standard. So like, I am kind of worried for Buffalo, and I would not be surprised if Miami sneaks in here. They're only 1 game behind. They already beat Buffalo once. It's just the only thing that truly worries me is just like they're so Josh Allen centric, and it's like if he struggles at all, I am a little worried about Buffalo.
It's a fair point, but I mean, the number one, the Tua number one in Miami, he has his issues as well. Will he? How long will he still be on the field, right? But we'll see, man. It becomes way more interesting now in that division with the injuries, and then obviously the 2 losses. Everybody's bunched together, a team that we once saw pulling away from everybody and kind of being in a league of their own. We see the NFL week to week, and maybe nobody's in a league of their own after this week. But go for it.
Also, shout out Sauce Gardner. He seems like he's a stud. He's fun to watch. Young guy. I hope he continues to develop and becomes an elite guy, because he seems like he can be a character, like a really fun guy for the NFL to market.
Yeah, Sauce is a problem. Sauce is he is everything as advertised coming out of Cincinnati. Let's move on. Seahawks. They just keep winning, right? They keep finding a way. The 6-3 Seahawks, the team we said is going to have 2 or 3 wins. They're now 6-3. Are they going to win the NFC West? I mean, that's what it is. The Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury thing. I mean, they just kind of they're taking a dive. But I mean, I don't even want to really give them any airtime. Sitting at 3-6, they're a bad football club right now. What do you make of the Seahawks? 6-3. They find ways to win games. Geno Smith's doing it. I mean, what can you say? That's really all I got. Are they going to win are they going to make the playoffs and win the NFC West and shock us all?
Yeah, Seattle has won their games by 10 plus points as well. So in dominating fashion, they've been very impressive. And shout out Geno Smith. He threw a pick 6 and then followed that up with 2 perfect long drives to score 14 points, 2 back-to-back touchdown drives. Very impressive. Seattle sitting at 6-3. I'm not going to say they're a lock for the division, because Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco, they have a new addition in that offense, so they can be so deadly. They're sitting at 4-4. They're going to come off a bye, but I do think Seattle's a playoff team, 100%. I feel very confident saying Seattle will make the playoffs at this point. And I think San Francisco will too. I think this division is going to have 2 teams, but I apologize to Seattle. I think in the last recap last week, because I was just so incredibly wrong. They were so right. They got the Denver draft picks. They're in a great spot. They hit on their all their rookies this year. They might have found their tackles for the future. Michael Jackson, that cornerback, has played fantastic. So it's Kenneth Walker, running back. I think you mentioned that, but they've just been so impressive. I think they're a lock for the playoffs, and I don't know if I would pick them to win the division. They're definitely favored over San Francisco right now, but I would pick them to make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I don't know who's winning that division. I'm not going to come on here and sound like an idiot, but it's remarkable. Yeah, the Seahawks are pretty remarkable. A team that we said will be at the top of the board. What quarterback are they taking next year? They somehow got life. I mean, you got to tip the cap to Pete Carroll, a guy everybody said retire, get out of here, old man. He's kind of got his team rolling. They're doing it like nobody expected. Some good draft picks, as you said. They have their draft picks. They control the Broncos draft picks. That is a team that is now set up very, very well for the future, right? They're giving young guys a lot of playing time. They got a lot of weapons outside with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant. They have a lot going there, which is weird because, I mean, preseason, I didn't think they had anything going. We were laughing at them with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. And look at where they are now, 6-3. I agree, but they'll definitely make the playoffs with the way the NFC is looking right now. They definitely have a good shot to be a wild card team. Division still up for grabs, so we'll see where it goes. It'd be something else if they won the division, to be honest, with the defending Super Bowl champions and the 49ers in the division. For this team to find a way to get it done would be pretty remarkable for Pete Carroll and the Seahawks to do that. And it's a place you would not want to play a playoff game at either.
Oh, that's for sure. You give them home field advantage, I might take them over almost anyone. But like, they're doing all this at the same time that Russell's struggling so much. And it's like they're just winning like the optics of the trade. They're just winning all around. Like, it's been impressive, everything Seattle's done.
Yeah, dude. You know, Pete Carroll's sitting there like, we fucking got you. Like, he's super happy. Yeah, I mean, they did it. They won the trade officially. Signed, sealed, delivered. They might have won it a couple weeks ago, but making it official now, they won the Russell Wilson trade with ease. Let's move in. The Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, we mentioned what Joe Mixon did. As the topic says, man, did the Bengals figure it out, at least offensive wise? I mean, maybe even if Jamar Chase is out there, they should run the damn ball more. Joe Mixon's pretty good. I never thought like he got enough touches. They finally give him enough touches. Obviously, I mean, the Panthers aren't a stout team. They got a pretty good defense, though, at least weapons wise on defense. And he just had their way. I mean, I think that's how they got to play football with no Jamar Chase. They still have Higgins, Boyd out there, but I think it's smarter. Use your running back. He's a solid running back. We've seen what he can do. As I said at the beginning as well, shout out, saved my fantasy day. Did his thing. 53 points is ridiculous. 5 touchdowns is ridiculous. So shout out to Joe Mixon. But yeah, I mean, is this how the Bengals need to run their offense going forward?
Yeah, I totally think this is how they should run their offense. They paid all this money to the offensive line. You saw what happened when they played Cleveland. There's a few matchups for Cincinnati. It seems like if they have to go against like an elite pass rusher, they kind of get eaten alive, especially if they fall behind and have to pass so much. And for some reason, Cincinnati refuses to put like extra blockers on the line. They'll go like their offensive line will be getting wrecked and they'll go 5 wide. So I think it's like a very, very smart thing if they ride this moving forward. I don't want to say they figured it out based off their opponent. Like, it was still the Carolina Panthers. They are not a good football team this year. They have been bad. And yes, they were kind of coming off an emotional high, but like it was very impressive what Cincinnati did. They look good. I think this is exactly how they have to play. Even when you add Jamar Chase back to the offense, you get big plays with them. I still think they need to be run heavy. They're just like, I just don't have faith in them if they fall behind. And it's not them. Like, I do think they can score in chunks in the big plays. It's the offensive line, especially if there's an elite pass rusher on the other side. It just makes me so nervous. I think this is a big game for Cincinnati. I think they need to lean on this moving forward and lean on the run game heavy. Because if they are throwing the ball 50 times a game, I do not feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if Jamar Chase is going to be back? Obviously, when he was there outside of 1 week, their deep plays weren't really there. The deep plays really haven't been there for them at all. And I mean, using Joe Mixon a lot sets up everything else. It sets up your play action. So I was always confused when they would give Joe Mixon 8 touches and just let the quarterback and let Joe Burrow get the shit beat out of him. They do a lot of weird. It's like somebody else called the plays this week for Zach Taylor. Like, I don't know. Did Zach Taylor actually call plays this week? Because as you said, they'll get murdered up front and they're doing 7-step drop back, slow developing plays. And then this week they finally get wise. They use Joe. As they said, man, let Joe cook, let him do his thing. And I think it's smart, at least for the time being, probably when Jamar Chase gets back, if he gets back, because it sets everything else up. You have an elite running back, use him. And I don't think they used him enough since the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, kind of that connection. I think they got way too pass happy. And this fits their style better and sets up the pass game way better.
And the thing is, they can throw the ball a lot while still running it a lot, right? Joe Mixon, 8 touches is unacceptable. But if he gets like 18 to 20, you can still get plenty of passing plays. You can still throw the ball 28 to 35 times. But like, make sure Joe's getting at least 18 to 22 touches. Like, it's just foolish that to have a running back that good and you're leaving a game with 8 touches.
Yep. Throwing 50 times. I don't know. It felt like they got bullied by us. They got bullied by Cleveland, and then they decided, hey, we can play bully ball too. So it was good to see. Maybe they'll keep it going. I'm not gonna hold my hopes up. Zach Taylor will probably start calling plays again next week, and the fun will be sucked out of the offense. Let's move on. Last thing, we talked about this beforehand. This will probably be the last time we talk about the Rams. Are they finally finished? Like they had everything. The dub was in the bag, and they just couldn't get it done. I don't know. They give Tom Brady the ball and just get their hearts ripped out. You could see the guys on the sidelines afterwards. They were kind of on their knees. The team looked dejected. Are the Rams done? Did the elbow injury? Did the shitty O-line, no run game, inept coaching scheme, did it finally do them in for this year, sitting at 3-5? It's kind of a tough uphill climb in that division with an elite team like the Seahawks in the division.
Yeah, that elite line just slid that in. But they're 6-3, right? So we got to respect it. But yeah, I do think they're finished. I think you pretty much nailed it. There's no run game. The offensive line's bad. The coaching has not been great, and it's like Matthew Stafford's not getting healthier. Cooper Kupp's getting banged up a little bit. It's like, I don't know what the Rams do. I think this is one of the worst like Super Bowl defenses in recent memory. They have not been good this year. Pretty much start to finish, to be honest. They haven't looked good at all. Maybe in very short segments. There's been like a couple long Cooper Kupp plays, but like the offenses have been bad. There's no running game. The Rams are done. That division's a tough climb. I think we pretty much have a really good idea who's making the playoffs in the NFC, to be honest. And the Rams, they don't have enough to, like, I don't think they can get it done at all. I think they're 100% finished. I don't think we need to talk about them anymore this year. I don't see any way they can turn the corner and like make the playoffs at this point.
No, they got to keep you with a bad elbow. The coach doesn't change it up. They just got nothing, man. As you said, one of the worst Super Bowl defenses in recent memory. They felt like a Mickey Mouse Super Bowl team anyway, with how many times Matt Stafford wanted to throw the season away last year anyway. So it was like, I mean, I guess enjoy it. They went all in. They got a ring out of it. I don't see this core. I don't know. Not with Stafford, unless I don't see them making it back to another Super Bowl next year, right? Go get healthy. I still don't see them making it back. So it's a good run. You got your one ring, right? I mean, they got to figure it out for the future and kind of decide what it is. Because as the Seahawks, clearly, I mean, they got a lot of young guys in the 49ers as well. They'll have Trey Lance coming back healthy with all the weapons out there. It's going to be a tough uphill climb with an older, expensive roster out there. But I mean, as long as Cooper Kupp's out there, he'll probably still get his, but nobody else is getting anything.
Yeah, and there's a lot of young NFC teams that I think are going to be good, really good for the next couple of years. Not to mention, there's a chance Aaron Donald doesn't stick around. He was on the record this offseason, like, yeah, let's run it back, because they thought they had a stacked roster, which on paper they did. But he's on the record of like he thought about retiring, like he's accomplished everything he wants. He got that ring, like he's first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got all the money he needs, right? So like there's a chance if they're this bad that Aaron Donald doesn't play as well, so which would only make it worse. So I don't see the Rams turning it around soon. It'd be a really tough task if they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get real bold if Aaron Donald walks away, which he very well possibly could at the end of the season. I could see Sean McVay hanging it up as well. There's already been so many rumors. Is he really going to stick it out and say Matt Stafford's going to get better? No, I mean, if you watch AD, your best defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in football, on that line walk away, he could just say fuck it too, and he has a ring. He doesn't care anymore. Go do a TV offer. He can come back, right? He's so young. He can come back anytime he wants. There's no pressure to stick around. And it's already been on the record, right, that this core dips, like he's gone.
Yeah, also, if you're him, like, fuck the loyalty. I would do that. Like, you're so young, you go get a fat TV contract, you sit on the sideline until there's another potential opening for like a really nice young team set up, and you go there and you can run it again. You know, you never know what happens in the NFL. Things change fast. If I'm him, like, there's no real point to sit through the rebuild and do it all unless he really does plan on coaching like 30-40 years straight, which I don't think is the case.
No, he's he'll probably chalk it into. Let's move on. As you mentioned, spreads after week 9, there's our week 9 results. The Bills let us down big time. The Packers get right game was the exact opposite of a get right game. I mean, it was a pretty, I'll take being above 500 for the week at 5-4-3, but I mean, nothing really to be excited about. The 3 pushes suck. But I guess they're better than taking in the L. So we'll take that. The Panthers thing too. I mean, I didn't scheme up Joe Mixon going crazy. I thought the Panthers would be pretty safe at 7.5. things that you liked? Any things you hated on this slate after the week played out?
The two that were stupid was the Dolphins -4. They won by 3. Shout out the Bears for figuring out some like a different play call and actually getting they have like an elite run game now. Like they figured out like Justin Fields is fantastic on the ground. Hopefully we see more creative play calling like that moving forward. But that was pretty disappointing. I thought the Dolphins would cover. And then the Raiders, like man, they had a great first half. They collapsed again. They're just a mess, like absolute shit show. They could not get it done. So like those are the two that were annoying to me.
Yeah, I mean, Josh McDaniels successfully ruined the playoff team, essentially, right? They made the playoffs last
A playoff team that added Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they finally started getting the ball. I mean, didn't I think I said that preview in the week. I was like, you should probably just get Devontae the ball. I said that at some point, one of these. I was like, it's about time. And I think they did that, but that still wasn't enough. They still lose. So, yeah, I mean, Josh McDaniels doesn't got the sauce. Maybe he gets sent packing. Obviously, Frank Reich got sent packing yesterday. I mean, the Colts are doing some questionable stuff. They may not win another game this year with who they're trotting out there and who's coaching the team. So that's fascinating. Anything else before we close up and get ready for week 10?
Another week. The Eagles are still undefeated. Excited for week 10. Let's see how long it really lasts.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Drop any feedback in the description or add us on Twitter at Take3Sports. We always like the feedback anyway that we can get better, maybe finish these off better. A couple of the last few have been interesting. As always, Spotify link will be in the description, and we'll be back tomorrow afternoon to jump into week 10 and hopefully get it right. Hopefully get the spreads above 500.